black family. Most children lived in a two-parent home in this country up until 1970. But after they killed the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, and after they killed Chairman Fred Hampton of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, they said, we've had enough of this civil rights nonsense, and we've had enough of this black power nonsense. And so in 1970, they came into the inner cities of Florida, in the inner cities of Pennsylvania, in the inner cities of Georgia and Texas and Illinois and California, and they stripped all the industrial building trade programs out in order to lay the foundation for mass incarceration that would come a few years later. Your great-grandfather didn't have no PhD. Your great-grandfather didn't have no JD, no MD, no PsyD. He was a licensed plumber. He was a licensed electrician. He was a licensed welder, a licensed roofer, a licensed auto mechanic. That's how he made his living. And guess what? He lived better with that trade license than many of us live with 3, 4, and 5 master's degrees. They destroyed the black man's ability to take care of his family in the 1970s by taking the industrial building trade programs out. Now, don't get me wrong, Florida. I want black history in the schools. Our children need to learn who they are and where they come from. But guess what? Black history can be taught in your house. Black history can be taught in the church. Black history can be taught in the community. As far as I'm concerned, the priority is not black history in the school. The priority is the return of the industrial building trade programs back into the schools. The skills that pay the bills. But I know what most of you parents of high school students are doing. You're waiting for them to graduate so you can spend $50,000 a year going into debt so they can go to the University of Florida, or the University of Miami, or the University of South Florida, so they can get a master's degree and a PhD in earthworm technology. I'm using earthworm technology as a metaphor, brothers and sisters. I'm using it as a metaphor for black children who go to college and waste hundreds of thousands of dollars on degrees that have no financial relevance at all in this society. Why would you send a lazy child 500 miles away, $50,000 a year? If Raekwon barely got out of high school, what the hell make you think he's gonna get out of 4-year college living 4 years away from you? You are out of your mind. You should only send a black child to college if you can answer 3 questions for Dr. Umar. Question number 1, did you raise that child with academic discipline and self-control? Because you do know your number 1 job as a parent, after it is to love your child, it's to teach your child discipline. Remember that word? DISCIPLINE. But we don't have conversations about discipline in the black community no more. You know why? The white man came in with the American Psychiatric Association and the American Psychological Association and the American Mental Health Association,